Welcome to Meet the Candidates 2023, a voter education program brought to you by the Shakopee Chamber of Commerce. My name is Tim Zunker, and I'm the president with the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau. Our hope is that these candidate interviews and profiles will help you, the voter, understand your choices when it comes to the 2023 special election for Shakopee City Council. We ask voters to arm themselves with the information necessary to make educated choices and to make casting your vote a priority. Please visit the Shakopee Chamber website at shakopee.org to find out more information about the upcoming special election for Shakopee City Council. Now I'd like to introduce candidate for City Council, Mike Luce. Mike, thanks for joining us today. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a lifelong resident of Shakopee. I was born here, and I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a few good, a few bad. I've gone through all the different anomalies and things that a city goes through. And I'd like to be part of doing some good with the city. I do believe I did some good when I served previously. We got the inclusive playground built, and one of the reasons I'm running it was a benefit for me to get that built by being on the city council. I'd like to get back there to double the size of it, because the only negative comment I've had on the playground is it's not big enough. You get up there sometimes and there's so many children up there enjoying themselves, and parents just love it because they don't come home all dirty because it's a sand base or anything like that. It's a rubber surface. The children can tumble and fall and bounce and do whatever they want, and very difficult to get injured up there. One of my greatest memories of up there was when we first opened it up. I met a young mother with a special needs child up there. He had a little mobility issue with his legs. And I learned in conversations with this lady that 3 weeks prior to meeting them up there, her son was in braces. He had finally gotten them off, and they were up there, and I just couldn't believe how much fun he was having, and she had tears in her eyes because he was able to go out and enjoy himself and strengthen his legs. You could still see that he had some mobility limitations, but like the mom told me, that's the best thing for him, is to run and play and just be an active little person again. And that was the most heartwarming thing I'd ever seen in my time at the city council. And I would like to, like I said, the only negative is it's not big enough. Sometimes it's just so crowded. I've had people tell me they had to leave because they couldn't keep track of their children. There's so many, and there wasn't space for them. So I would really like to double that. I think we have the sponsorship. I can touch back on old contacts and everything, and we can get that done. I think it would be a great benefit for the city, because there is nothing within 50 miles or more that even comes close to that playground. There's one in Eden Prairie, but it's like first generation. This is maybe not the latest model anymore, because it's been 5 years, but it's one of the greatest around. And it was a passion for me, and as you can tell just by listening to me, I really love it. I don't have special needs children in my family, but I've worked with people that have had special needs, and it's a toll on families, and I hate to say it's a toll, but it does take its toll on parents, and that they do need a break in that. And when you see the families and how they're impacted, anything we can do to help them. And the children are citizens too, and they deserve whatever we can give them. That playground can be used by every child in Shakopee. There's small tweaks made to things that make it easier for the special needs. It's not only for special needs. It just makes it easier for them. So that's one of my goals, is to tear into that and finish that project, and allow a segment of our population that needs it to be able to enjoy life more, and possibly bring them into a more productive citizen in society. I mean, the young man that I just mentioned, he's having a little mobility issue, but I would be willing to bet if I could find him today, he's probably just an average child with mobility that matches everybody else. And if that's all it took was him to have a safe place to exercise, I mean, that's a small price to pay. And there's a lot of other children out there that I'm sure it will help. So, as you can tell, I have a passion for it. I don't like to stop talking, but, that's one of my main goals. And the other is to bring Shakopee forward and make it only as great as it can be. So, hopefully that is enough for the first intro.
Yeah, so that kind of touched into question one, but do you have any other things that you're running for city council or why you're running?
Well, that's the main reason, but I think that we need to get a little more fiscal responsibility in town. There's been some monies that they seem to be pretty free with the tax dollar to bring in businesses. I think some of these businesses, I know we have one that got some money from the city that when the money ran out, now they're talking about leaving, which, there's things that happen that, they weren't foreseen by that company, but there's also companies out there that jump around to the freebies. Anything they can get for less from the public, they'll go after. And I think we need to do a little better job on some of that, check these people's track records and that and make sure that that's not what they're doing, because it's basically it's tax dollars from every citizen in town. We want a better city, but do we want to have to pay for everything we get? I think we've got a very welcoming city here. We have a lot of attractions. We have a lot of things that people want. And I think the city sells itself personally. I don't think we need to be doing a lot of giveaways anymore, through the city financially. But I've been away from it for 5 years, so I really, I've tried to stay out of it, because when you're not involved directly and you see things, there's nothing you can do anyway. So it just upsets me anyway. So that's why I'd like to get back in. I think there's things that we can do better, and I think I can help with that.
Great. Thank you, Mike. What skills and experience would you bring to the city council?
Well, I was previously on the council 4 years ago. I spent 5 years on the council. I don't believe there's any other candidate that's had any kind of experience like that. I know we have a planning commission member, and there may be someone else. I don't know all the backgrounds. But I believe that puts me atop most people, because I know most of the staff, other than some of the newer staff members that have come on board. And I have a relationship with many of them. So, and I actually had a few of them contact me and congratulate me for running. They appreciated the work that I did before. I was easy to get along with and talk to, and they had a good experience. So I think that blends a lot with getting projects taken care of and getting information between us, back and forth. I think we have a lot of good people. There's a few that are I'm unfamiliar with, so that would be a learning curve, but that's not such a big problem. I mean, I'm open to talking to people, and as most people will tell you, I may not look like I'm easily approached, but once you open the door, or I open the door, generally the information flows pretty quickly between us, because I'm open to listening and I'm open to learning. And I think those are two great deals that a person on the council needs. If you can't listen and be open and learn more, then I don't believe you need to be there. So, I think I'd be a great fit. I'm ready, willing, and able. At this stage in my life, I'm looking to do more civically than before. I'm I'm getting close to retirement. I'd like to do something good for the city before I hang it up. And, this is my one chance. So hopefully people will understand that I only have the best for the city looking forward. And, hopefully we can do some great things.
Great. Thank you, Mike. What have you done in the past to positively impact the city of Shakopee?
Well, I think I touched on that a couple times already with the previous questions in the intro. One of the greatest accomplishments of my life, other than having children and being family, is the inclusive playground. I mean, that helps. Every citizen of our city can benefit from that. If they don't need the equipment to be able to play, it's the relationships they build. One of the greatest things that I ever saw was a special needs child that was visibly special needs. And the children that come around and help them just to have someone to play with. The one example that I remember is the child was in a wheelchair and they wanted to go down the roller slide. So their wheelchair was left at the upper level. The child went down the slide, had a great time going down the slide. One of the other children went up and grabbed his wheelchair and brought it down to him. Now, if that doesn't warm your heart, I don't know what does. Children at that age don't see differences in people like adults do. They don't see limitations. They see someone that they're having fun with, they want to play with. And I think, to me, that was so heartwarming, and it made all the time. And, I took a few injuries because I worked on every section of that, pulled muscles and, sprains and stuff. And, I worked with all the people in the different stages, and it was a lot of work, and it was a great time. And, we had a lot of great people that worked on it. They really did some great work. Anybody who's been there and actually seen it and enjoyed it, they understand how great it is. And in that funding for that playground, we came to the table with money left over. There's money that came in years past the finish of that playground. According to the people that put the playground in, they said most cities take years to fundraise. We did the whole project, start to finish, fundraised it, tore it out, and the children were playing on it in 9 months. So, I mean, sometimes I refer to it as having a baby because, a 9-month time period is unbelievable. And it's not my only deal, but it's one of the proudest things in my life. That's why I refer back to it all the time. But in the process of doing that and dealing with business people around town and different companies fundraising, and they would ask for concessions, I guess you would call it. And the only concession I ever promised anybody on that was I would listen to anything they brought forward. I wouldn't guarantee them just because they donated money that they were going to get something. If it was good for the city, I would vote for it. If it wasn't good for the city, I would be able to help them make it a good fit for the city. And then we could hopefully help them with funding or whatever their need was. There's all kinds of needs. They want some rules changed, or it's hard to, there's always something new coming up with wants from businesses and that. So right now I think housing for some of these companies is a big deal. Excuse me. They don't have housing for all the people they need. We've put up a number of apartment buildings in town, and I know we have workforce housing, and I do believe that one of the apartments is low income that the county subsidizes somewhat. And so we're trying to get all the different aspects of the need for the people. I know there's a high end apartment building that's unfinished in town. They're working on that. One segment of it is done. And that in itself will help the people on the lower segment because that opens up apartments that they would have occupied that they leave and go into the higher end that they can afford with all the amenities that they like. So that was a good fit for the city when that came forward. You know, they're backfilled by other people that need lower priced places. I wouldn't want to have to pay for the rent in that expensive place, but you know, they have some fantastic amenities. And if that's where you want to spend your money and you make good money, that's your choice. I believe that the city council and businesses need to have a great relationship to work together, but I don't believe in a total giveaway to business. They need to bring something to the table also.
Great. Thank you, Mike. What is your opinion of tax increment financing and its use in bringing economic development projects to Shakopee?
I believe it is a fantastic tool when used correctly. I haven't followed exactly and very closely on some of the uses that it has gone into here in the past few years. I think it possibly is a little overused, but like I said, I haven't followed it closely enough to make that determination, because when you're on the council, you get more inside information, and that's what's needed to make the decision. It does have a cost benefit to it, but I think the rules need to be adhered to. I think we might be getting a little loose with the use of it. But it does play a good role in bringing business into the city and hopefully more jobs. That's the place that I question the use of it. I don't know that it's bringing in the jobs that it claims to be bringing in. And if it doesn't, then you know, that's a negative that I would question. But when it brings in good jobs and a number of good jobs, then it's a good economic tool to help everybody. I mean, you help the lower end of the strata of jobs, then that brings more jobs to the city. You know, you get right now, we're like every other city. We're hurting for people to fill some of these jobs. It's something that I don't know if anybody really has the answer to it. I've heard a lot of different thought out there that, you know, too many people are retiring. You know, I feel that because I should be retiring, but I just have a little too much energy left, and I want to do some good for the city and the business I'm in. I have a lot of people still calling to get work done. So, you know, and they're having trouble finding other sources of people to do it. And, you know, as far as tax increment financing, it's a great benefit to bring in business, but I think we need to check the boxes better and make sure we're filling everything that we need to keep going forward with it. But yeah, there's a need for it. So
great. Thank you, Mike. Expanding on economic development, what role should the city of Shakopee have in attracting new businesses to the community or helping existing businesses expand?
Personally, I think that question is in reverse. I think we need to keep the businesses we have first. You know, we don't need those businesses leaving town for whatever reason. And, you know, most of it's economics. They can't find workers. We need to attract more workers. We've been working on that from what I've been seeing with a lot of the housing that's being built. And, you know, that's the biggest thing with companies. They can't find workers right now. Every business you go by has a help wanted sign out. And excuse me, not being within city government and having access to all the information, I'm really at a loss of why there is such a need for all these workers. Where did everybody go? I mean, is this a problem brought on by COVID, which I think started it. But is it just something that just keeps going? You know, the people, a lot of people gave up working because they were afraid of COVID, which I believe the government has now said COVID is over, or next month it's going to be over. I think that, you know, COVID scared a lot of people. I think it was more scary than what the outcome was. Yeah, a lot of people died. I lost some friends, and you know, it wasn't a good thing. But I think it was overdone a little bit, but better on the side of caution than, you know, being behind the curve trying to deal with it after it's full blown and taking out half your population. But as far as economic development, I think the city needs to look at maintaining what we have more than bringing in new people at this point. I'm not saying to stop looking for new people, but I think the main focus should be on maintenance of the ones we already have and helping them. A lot of businesses, I shouldn't say that a lot, but I do believe there's not a lot of companies that are moving at this point. They're still recovering from COVID and what that brought to them. So I think we're on the right path. Just stick with what we have and try and make them better. So, and once they're better, they'll hire more people. So, you know, they got to get back on their feet. This whole COVID thing has tipped the scales severely, and it's still in the recovery process. So, I don't know what else I can add to that. So,
Great. Thank you, Mike. What do you see as the most important issues facing Shakopee, and what would you do to address them?
The most important issues, I think, for Shakopee are similar to every place else. It's jobs and housing. And the housing, I don't know which comes first. You know, it's like the chicken and the egg. Who you need the housing first so you have a place for the people to live, or do you need the jobs in order to bring the people here? But I think the city needs to work on both, and I do believe they've done fairly well on the housing. We put up a number of apartment buildings in the past few years, and from what I've been seeing, there's been a number of new companies coming to town. I hope that we're not giving away too much from the taxpayers to lure these companies in here. I think a lot of the amenities and everything that we have here would be enough of a lure to bring them here. We have a great way of life here. You know, we have most of the amenities that anybody could ever want. We have 4 great big, draws throughout the year. We got Valley Fair, we got Canterbury, we got Renaissance Festival. Well, I can't think of the 4th one. I know there's 4. Can you help me out with the 4th one?
It's right up it's down the road, Mystic Lake. I
forgot about Mystic Lake. I guess I don't think of Mystic Lake because I'm not a gambler, so I don't go there. Been there to eat. They've got, I won't put them down for it. They got great food if that's what you're into. And they do help the surrounding areas with some donations. It's a good deal, but there are others that I named. They also do that. The racetrack is a donator. The Renaissance donates. I know they helped us out with the playground that I worked on. All of it. They're all good people, but we need more of those good people in town. And I think good business attracts good business. You know, when they see what's here and they see that they're making a good living and have a good prosperous company, they're going to want to come here because it's like anything. I mean, you run a city down and you're all you're going to get is more rundown. You bring it up like we have, and you're going to have a good attraction for more positive growth. So At this point in time, I think we're doing fair. I know it's something that we have to stay on top of because, there's everybody else out there looking to attract these companies. But I think we do have an edge on most of these because of the four I just named. I mean, you go down the road either way, and they don't have any of the attractions that we have. Most people, I shouldn't say most, but a good share of people like to gamble. They can go out to Mystic Lake. They like to play the horses. They can go out to Canterbury. They like the Renaissance Festival in the fall. They can go out there and have fun. I mean, I've been there. It's a great time. Um, Everybody, there's so many things in Shakopee to do that we have some very great amenities that will lure people in, and I know you work closely with all of them, very closely, in fact, and that's a great thing. I appreciate it, and I thank you for doing what you do.
Well, thank you.
So I think if we can stay focused on what we're doing right now and not lose track of where we've been and where we're going, I think we're going to do well. We just need to keep going. There's going to be some tweaks, but hey, if you don't keep on top of it and tweak it, you're going to fall behind, and then you're out of luck.
Great. Thank you, Mike. In your opinion, should city taxes be reduced? If so, how should spending be reduced to balance the budget?
I believe that the city has done a fairly decent job of keeping our taxes low, or as low as they possibly can. I do think that there's always room for improvement. If you go from department to department, and and I believe the council could easily do this, and then go through their budget. And I know we have some staffing issues. Not that we're overstaffed, we're understaffed. And being understaffed costs you more money because you're paying overtime to people. If you brought in another person and let them do the job, you're paying straight pay. You're not paying time and a half or more. So we need to look at things like that. We need to be more fiscally responsible for the citizens of Shakopee. I'm not saying that we're not doing a decent job, but there's always room for improvement anywhere. I mean, even the federal government has said that they can cut. Well, we can cut too if had to be. I don't really want to raise taxes on the citizens. I think the best thing we can do is just keep them stable. I don't know that we can lower them. There's a certain amount of money it takes to run the city. And if we just reallocate to different areas where it's needed and take it from areas that have an extra money that, maybe it was needed one time and isn't needed now, shifting funds is a great way to keep from raising taxes. And I'm totally against raising taxes unless it's absolutely necessary. I do believe that in the future, it's always going to happen. Wages go up, number of people needed. The city's growing. We're going to need more police. We're going to need more street workers. We're going to need more park workers. We're going to need more people all the way around in city government. And every person you add, as being in the management area, there's a cost involved in that. And you can't always absorb that somewhere else. You've got to raise revenue someplace. So I'm all for keeping taxes stable. I don't know that we can reduce taxes, but just keeping them stable is a great accomplishment. People are not happy, I wouldn't think, paying the taxes they are, but they'd be far more unhappy getting taxes raised and finding out later that the money was being used inappropriately or less effectively, I guess would be the term. So my whole plan would be to make sure the money is spent the way it should be spent, account for every tax dollar. And like I said, I don't know that we can lower it, but we can sure hold off raising it.
Great. Thank you, Mike. Now I'd like to give you the opportunity to give your closing message and statement to the voters.
Well, as a lot of people have said, you get the government you vote for. I personally have had a bad rap in the past. I do believe that I did a lot of good things with the playground and some other things. I think that intimidated some of the other members on the council, and they decided that they didn't like me for that reason. And that's fine. But if you talk to someone that knows me personally, they will tell you that I am only trying to help those that need help. I go out of my way to do charity work for people and other things like that. And I look at the city council in a way of it's almost charity work. It isn't for the pay that we do, or at least it isn't for me. I mean, the pay is very minimal at best. And in fact, my plan is to donate a great portion of my salary, if elected, and try and help others with it. I'm at a point where I'm able to do that, and I think it's the thing to do. If you have the ability, you should be helping others that are less fortunate. So hopefully the citizens will understand that I'm only here to do the best I can for the most people that I can. I doubt that I'll be able to help everybody. Nobody can do that. But, I'll go out of my way to do the best I can for anybody and everybody that, we can help. Sometimes we'll be helping big business. They come to town, they need something, it's hard to say what it is. And we help them out. That down the road there, you hate to hear this word trickle down, but it does. Things do go down the pipe and hopefully end up with more people being hired. There's all sorts of things that end up that, at the end of the parameters that you can't think of. And it's just part of the way government works and business works. So all I can tell the citizens of Shakopee is I will do my darn best for the citizens of Shakopee. And I won't rest until that is done. And anybody can call me, contact me, email me. My email is on your website. My phone number is in my email, so they can call me. And if they have a complaint or something they want to talk about, feel free. I'm always available. So I appreciate your time and the chamber putting this on. I think it's a great thing so that the people can get to know who they're going to vote for, understand better where people are coming from. And I think my experience of 5 years on the council supersedes most everybody that is running against me. And I think the greatest thing in my life, other than having children, was the construction of that playground and helping all those that need it. And I do, if elected, I do plan on doubling the size of that. I've already spoken to people about it and, different equipment that would be needed. We would, obviously there'd be a group of people to put in their ideas and that. This isn't going to be a one-sided deal. And, we'll be out fundraising for it. And I think the city would benefit greatly from it. I know right now, personally, we are somewhat of a mecca for people with special needs kids because there is no place around this area for 50, 60 miles that has anything that comes close to this. I mean, I've seen a few of them that are first and second generation playgrounds. They're so far behind this. It's a flat surface. There's no undulations. Like I told you before, the lady with the little guy with mobility issues, she loved the fact that he could climb those hills and strengthen his legs. I mean, he crawled up them at the end. I mean, he wouldn't quit. And just in closing, I'll give you a story, a fond memory. That same lady, when she left the playground, she picked her son up. he was like a limp rag. He was so out of gas, he was dang near sleeping in her arms. She had a great smile on her face, and I have no idea, but I would be willing to bet they were at that playground many, many more times to assist him in his mobility issues. And I would hope that today he is walking as good as the average child. So that is something I hold on to because, I went through a lot to personally to put that thing together, and it's so heartwarming to see it finished up. But I would like to see it double. That's the only complaint I've ever heard about it. So that would be one of my first goals. So I appreciate everybody's time here for listening and your time for having me. So again, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. The views expressed in these interviews are those of the candidates, not those of the Chamber and Visitors Bureau. The Chamber is sponsoring these interviews as a service to the community and has gone to great lengths to ensure the objectivity. The Chamber does not endorse any candidate, but seeks to provide you, the citizens and voters of Shakopee, with the information you need to make an informed choice. The Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau extends a sincere thank you to the candidates. Thanks again, Mike.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time and your service to the community by running for office. You are performing an important service to us all. Again, thank you for joining us for this edition of Meet the Candidates 2023.